this is Aisha and welcome to our 54th Kotlin tutorial, and in this tutorial I'll be talking about the abstract class in Kotlin programming language. So now this abstract class is the one in which you cannot create objects. This abstract class can be extended and can be inherited from, but it cannot have any objects. So an abstract class can be created using the abstract keyword like we did in Java. So now here in this tutorial I'm going to create a simple example in which I'll be creating an abstract class, and then we will have data members and member functions of that abstract class. So it should be noted here, when you are creating an abstract class, then the member functions and the variables or the data members or properties are not abstract. If you want to make them abstract, then you have to use the keyword abstract with them explicitly. So now I'm going to create a class using the keyword abstract, and then class individual is the name of the class, and now this class has a primary constructor name, string, and then the body of the individual class. So inside the individual class, I'm going to, first of all, I have to use this init keyword for the init block, and inside I'm going to use print line statement to print a message, and that message is name of individual equals or name. So now after this init block, I'm going to create two member functions. The first function is display age, which will display the age of the individual, and then inside the parameters we will have an argument 8 and the body of the function. So now inside I'm going to use a print line statement to print the age of the individual equals age. And then now I'm creating another function which will be the abstract function, and if you want to create an abstract function, then you have to use the keyword abstract and then the keyword fun and then the name of the abstract function, display address for example. And then parameters, I'm going to use address as my parameter, and then it will be of string data type. So now it should be noted here that if you are creating an abstract function, then it cannot contain any body. For example, here if I have this, then you can see we have an error. It can be seen that a function display address with body cannot be abstract. So a function with a body cannot be abstract, and if you want to create an abstract function, then you have to remove this body, and you can see everything is fine. I'm going to inherit another function, another class from this individual class. So I'll be writing class waiter. So this will be a waiter class with the same primary constructor, and then colon, and then the name of the class, and then we will have name here, the primary constructor of individual, and then the body of the class. So inside the body of the class, you have to implement this abstract function. So this abstract function cannot be implemented in this class. You have to provide the implementation of this function in the child class. So now here I'm going to write override. I have to override this function to provide the implementation of this function. And why I am providing the implementation? This is because the abstract function cannot have any body in which it is declared. So now override fun, the name of the function, which is display, and then display address. We have address, we have string, and then we have the body. So inside the body I'm simply writing print line address of individual equals our address variable. So now, as I told you earlier, that an abstract class cannot have any object, so we can say that we cannot create objects of the abstract class. Then how can you call these methods? So for this reason we have created a child class, and we have provided the implementation of this function also, and now I'll be using the objects of this child class, and this is not abstract class. So I'll be using the objects of this child class to call the member functions of both of these classes. Now for example, obj is the object, name of the object, and then I'm going to create an object for the waiter class. I have to pass a name. This is because we have a primary constructor with the waiter class. So for example, Roger, and then I can use the object to call the display age function. And I have to pass an argument. For example, 21 is the age, and then object dot display address, and I have to pass an address, for example street 1. So now what we did, we have created an abstract class. Inside the abstract class we have a simple function and we have an abstract function. So to provide the implementation of this abstract function, I have used this child class. So inside the child class we have overridden this function, this abstract function, and provided the implementation. Similarly, when using the abstract class, you cannot create objects of the abstract class. So we have used the objects of the child class to call the methods of the base class. Now run the program and you will see in the output. Okay, here we have name of individual equals Roger. So when you create an object of the child class, the primary constructor of the base class is also called. So inside the primary constructor we have this print line statement, and this print line statement says name of individual equals name. So name of individual equals Roger is printed. Similarly, then we have used the object of the weighted class to call the display age function. So inside the display age function we have this statement, and this statement is printed. Then we have an abstract function, and the implementation of this abstract function is provided in the child class. So inside this child class we have the implementation which prints a message address of individual equals address. So you can see we have the message. So guys, that's it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.